this computer. Is it on or not? Yeah, it's on. Okay. Hi, everybody, and thanks for checking out our webinar, How to Safely and Easily Lose Weight and Get Fit While Home, and also save money and time. Now, we are here. You will wonder who we are. Here we are sitting at home during that crisis. I'm Dr. Christine Sauer, founder and owner of DocChristine.com, a medical doctor and a naturopathic doctor, German trained, and now retired here in Canada, and a brain and mental health coach and a nutrition consultant and a few other things. And I'm also, together with my collaborator, Erin Madden, organizing the Body, Mind, and Spirit Transformation Program for successful weight loss. Hi, Erin.
Hey,
who are you?
thanks. Thank you so much for this awesome webinar. So I'm excited. So my name is Erin Madden, as Christine mentioned, and I am basically the nutrition expert or the meal planning expert behind the Body, Mind, Spirit Transformation Program. So that's kind of like my specialty. I have my degree is in is a Bachelor of Science in nutrition. So I learned so much about how things work in terms of nutrition and what we need to eat in order to stay healthy and well. And I'm also a personal trainer as well. So because fitness also plays a huge role in maintaining a healthy body and mind and spirit as well.
Absolutely. And at the time that this webinar is recorded, and it will be airing for hopefully longer than the COVID-19 crisis lasts, we are all pretty much cooped up at home, and many people can't go to the gym. They are all closed. We can't even go outside where other people are and jog around other people. We have to stay around our houses. Yes, we can walk the dog, but take your distance from other people, and that is hard. And yes, we can have physical distancing, but it shouldn't go really to social distancing, because we have the internet, we can connect with others, and we should do that. And we should use the internet to do something new during this time, learn something. And now, Erin, you're trying different recipes, and try a meal plan. Erin is the best. Oh my God, her meal plans are so delicious.
I have so much time on my hands. I'm actually doing a lot of experimentation in my kitchen and like constantly like whipping up new recipes that I really didn't have the time to really get around to doing that before. So I'm actually doing a lot of meal prepping. I find that I'm kind of like in a habit of making sure all my meals are prepped for the week, because it's just so hard to get away to actually do meal prepping during the week when you have families to look after and schools and work, and you just can't think about yourself and like what to eat.
And many people are working from home, so they are close to their kitchen anyway. And there are much better choices to that than just eating junk, ordering out a pizza, take out some fatty fast food. Make your own. It is the time to start a weight loss program, isn't it?
Absolutely. I personally find that food tastes the best when you actually make it from scratch. So it's and you never know what you can actually create. Like maybe you have like leftover ingredients that you just never knew what to do with until now. So it's actually really exciting to see what new recipe creations you can do with some ingredients.
So if you want to start experimenting in the kitchen, if you want to lose weight during the spring, for your summer beach body, and yes, the beach will come and hopefully COVID-19 is gone, so you can go to the beach and mingle with other people, go swimming in the ocean. Here in Nova Scotia, it's just beautiful. And the summer will come, and usually the sun is a very good disinfectant. So hopefully until then, you can hang out your newfound slimmer body, sexier body too.
Definitely. You
That's
definitely have the time to do that right now, especially if you're home from work for a couple of weeks. Might as well start working on your health goals.
right. And we want to help you with that. And that's why today, after we shared who we are and what we do, besides having fun, and why it is the time to start losing weight in these uncertain times, because we are home. We can make our own food if it is time and money efficient, because many of us sadly lost their job, lost financial resources, and we have to help those too. And that's why we decided to do that series of webinars for free. Now we'll talk a little bit about why we can't lose weight and why many of you might have tried it before and then gained it all back and more. And how, what, and when to eat for optimal health. We go back to the basics of eating and why diets fail. And how to eat to save time and money and also get fit. And at the end, if you're okay with it, we'll share what you need to know if you want to go deeper and get some help and support with that. Now let's get going. Erin, what do you think? Why can't we lose weight?
There is many factors, and a lot of it is because people are just too busy. They have work commitments. They have to look after their families. They feel like they just don't have time to really cook whole foods, and therefore, a lot of people tend to go to eat out a lot. They just don't know how to prepare foods, and they're also overeating, among many other factors as well. Low
Right.
exercise would be another one. So,
That is so true. And the food is so close to the supermarket. It's so easy to have fast food and get this candy and the chips to crave and the pizza takeout. And they all don't contribute to making you thinner.
mm,
Now, let's talk a little bit about when you should eat. And let's go back to the basics, because there's really rules to that. And we want to talk about a little bit about how our ancestor ate and why this is important today, about different eating patterns and their consequences for our metabolism. And here it is. When did our ancestors eat? And it's simple. When they had food, they ate. When they didn't have food, they didn't eat. Did they starve? Did they lose their strength? Did they lose their mental acuity? Not at all. They were able to hunt for extended periods. So it's not that when we don't eat for a while, that we starve, that we lose muscle mass right away, that we get foggy. The opposite is true. Most people that don't eat all the time gain energy. Now, when did our ancestors eat? During the growing season, when food was abundant. And during the cold season, the food needed to be stored and preserved. So they lived off fermented cabbage, which lactofermentation was a good thing. And it was invented thousands of years ago, and it's still a very healthy way to eat cabbage as sauerkraut, raw sauerkraut. Good bacteria for your gut. And they really, during the cold season in the northern hemisphere, they actually could freeze it in the ground. They used the ground as their cold storage. But generally, the availability of food was very limited. And when they had food, it was abundant. And then our ancestors ate all the food they could to put on fat for storage. And that's what our bodies are programmed for. When we have as much to eat as we want, we put on fat because the body says, okay, I better put on some weight for the season when we don't have so much food. And our ancestors knew when the food was scarce, then they could burn the fat to survive and be able to go out and gather more food. Now, today, most of us have one of those six eating patterns. Many of us still adhere to the 6 small meals a day or more hypothesis. Many of us eat 3 meals and 2 snacks, which both actually contribute to obesity and constant insulin highs and type 2 diabetes. And we'll talk about the details of that in a future webinar. Some people said, okay, we don't need snacks because 100 years ago we ate breakfast, we ate lunch, we ate supper. That was it. And sometimes we didn't have time for breakfast because the chores had to be done. And sometimes we just ate 1 meal a day if we weren't physically very active. Now, modern is intermittent fasting. Do you think it's modern? It really isn't, because fasting and not eating was done for thousands of years and is done in all spiritual traditions. Now it's a modern term, intermittent fasting, and it sounds good, so it is exactly what it says. You eat and then you don't eat. Now, some people advocate longer term fasting, and generally I want to say, if you have any illness, take any medications, are pregnant, breastfeeding a child, please don't change your lifestyle or eating habits without asking your doctor first. And longer term fasting without a good doctor supervision can be dangerous. So please, intermittent fasting is generally no problem for healthy people. Now, many people of us graze, and I did it myself. I know it is fun. You eat all day because you feel hungry, and then you get the afternoon slump. And what do you eat? Snickers, Mars, because it's supposed to give you energy. It does, but an hour later, the sugar goes back down in the dumps, and you get tired even more than before. And over the long term, grazing leads to a constant blood sugar and insulin elevation. Now, insulin is a hormone that is a key to the lock to the cells to put blood sugar in the cells. And it's good when it's elevated after you eat because you want it to go in the cells and nourish you. But if your insulin levels are, when meals are not eaten regularly, your blood sugar drops because the insulin is still high and your blood sugar drops too low, and you get unpleasant symptoms like tired, sweaty, shaky. And in extreme cases, for some people, especially type 1 diabetics, that don't have the regulation that modern people have, if you take medications, it can lead to fainting or even death. So you have to be careful. And grazing leads also that our natural regulation and metabolic flexibility is absolutely lost. Now, when we fast, what are the consequences for our metabolism that way? After an adjustment phase, our metabolism switches to purely fat-burning ketosis. And that's a flashy word. It just means that we burn fat, and the fat gets burned and produces a little bit of sugar that we need to nourish the brain and the essential organs, and mostly ketone bodies. And those can be burned by all cells of our body, including the brain. It's actually a preferred fuel for many cells, and the brain can use 75% of its energy from ketone bodies. Protein is still burned and transformed to glucose for energy. So there is some protein that we need to maintain muscle mass. The body saves protein, the body recycles cells. It's called autophagy, which is actually really good because it may help for cancer and other cells that we produce all the time. And that is also the reason it's not good for all the time. That's why intermittent fasting is better than being on a diet all the time or fasting for longer periods. It's best to eat like our ancestors, to feast and to fast. The modern term is intermittent fasting. And if you hit a plateau or anything happens, switch it up. Be flexible with your eating. Eat when you're really hungry. Don't eat when you're not. Don't feel bad skipping a meal. It's okay. That actually leads to healthy metabolic flexibility. And we'll talk about that later. I just want to mention a few really good books to read by Dr. Jason Fung, The Obesity Code, The Complete Guide to Fasting. And he talks mostly about intermittent fasting. And Dr. Joseph Marcola, Fat for Fuel, and Keto Fast, where he explains the metabolic flexibility very well. Now, let's stop the share and see what we think. What do you think, Erin? Any ideas you had while I was talking?
Everything sounds great. I think it's so important that when people are home a lot more, they need to not graze as much throughout the day, because people are going to be more bored. They're going to feel like they need to, they're going to be snacking a lot more because they're going to be watching Netflix maybe all day or binge watching some other shows. So I think it's so important to still try to stay in a routine somehow, and incorporating some more healthy food options would be a great idea. And also, because the gyms are now closed, it's good to find workouts that you can do in the comfort of your own home. Right. And there's actually so many workouts that you can, that you don't have to do weights. You can do so many different body weight exercises. So again, be able to learn how to cook healthy meals, and not have to have like a bag of nuts to sit next to you while you're watching TV. So don't get into that habit of grazing, because it's just going to hurt your health in the long run.
Right. Instead, maybe consider joining our program that we'll talk about later, where Erin will do online fitness. It starts in April. We are probably still home then. And if not, it's still worthwhile. It's a great program. But Erin, a little bit more about how we should eat. Should we just sit in front of the TV and wolf the food down?
No, not at all, because that can get into a habit of grazing and overeating. You still want to sit at the table with your family, and not have to and be able to portion out your foods correctly, so you are not going to increase your weight. So the Body, Mind, Spirit Transformation Program gives you so many different types of recipes that you can be able to make yourself. And they're so healthy and nutritious that you can actually feel very satisfied on a lot of whole food nutrition, instead of eating sugar and high fat foods, such as those that are in baked goods.
Bad fats. There's good fats and bad fats. So for those that don't know what to eat, I wrote a little book, How to Eat for Vibrant Health and Explosive Energy. It's really good. It talks about whole foods, food allergies. And Erin, what are good foods to eat, whole foods?
Basically, we want to go back to our ancestors again, of what they ate. So they ate a lot of foods that were in gardens. So think fruits and vegetables, think whole grains, beans, legumes. You can healthy oils such as olive oil and coconut oil. So these are all minimally processed, and they also have lots of fiber and vitamin and minerals to them. So you can actually
important, especially when you're cutting down. You need enough fiber and fluids to actually get your bowel still moving, or you'll get constipated, and that not only doesn't feel good, but if you start losing weight, your body gets rid of the fat soluble toxins. So your level of toxins in the gut raises, and you have to get them out. And the best way to get them out is bind them to fiber and let them go to the toilet.
Yeah, definitely. And you have to and understand that there's no one food out on the market that is going to burn fat. It's all about what you take in for calories. Reducing the level of calories that you currently consume now is the only way to burn fat. So like there's that celery juice diet you keep hearing on the net, or maybe cabbage soup diet. You can't be just choosing foods that is just going to melt the fat away, because it's just not going to work
No.
for you.
And it's important to note that it's not just calories in, calories out what counts, but it counts what kind of calories
Yeah,
you eat.
definitely.
And that's, for example, how a high fat, high calorie diet like the ketogenic diet still leads to weight loss, even if you eat more calories, because you
Definitely.
leave out a non-essential food group, the carbs. Yeah,
Definitely.
and
And keto really works as well as intermittent fasting, because you are dropping your carbohydrate content. And carbohydrate has been proven to actually hold on to a lot of our fat cells. So if you actually reduce it by incorporating more high fat foods, and good fats too, because we don't want to start eating bacon all day long. But
not
if you
all
start
day. But a little bit of bacon from happy pigs and grass-fed meat is good for you. Grass-fed beef
Definitely. And
and
fat is actually
grass-fed
very
chicken.
filling and very satisfying for us anyway. That's why the ketogenic diet really works.
Yeah, it
So,
does work for weight loss for certain medical conditions,
mm,
but it is really not recommended on the long term, longer than six
yeah.
months to a year,
Mm,
because then your body loses the flexibility. It needs a metabolic flexibility, and the certain enzymes like the AMPK and the mTOR pathway are dysregulated, and that is not good when you want to increase your muscle mass.
yeah.
So that's why the cycle of feasting and fasting is really, in my opinion, totally optimal
Yeah.
and superior to the ketogenic diet alone. I still recommend doing a low carb diet generally, because it squashes the hunger. We can eat healthy, and it's a whole food diet. That's important. The
Yeah.
less
Eh,
packaged food you eat, the better.
Yeah, definitely. And if ketogenic or intermittent fasting diet is not, if you don't feel comfortable doing it, because I would never want to put someone on a nutrition program where they just don't like the idea of cutting out carbohydrates. Because there's
Yeah.
people that have to have their grains or
Yes.
their fruit into their diet. There's so many other options out there for you to still be able to see the results, and you can feel free to talk to myself.
Absolutely. And I recommend you book Erin's consultation to talk to her about the different diet options, not really diets, because
Yeah.
diets don't work. Because
Mm,
at some point you stop eating the diet. You need a lifestyle that works for you, and a
yeah.
lifestyle that actually prevents the weight regain. And that's why our program, for example, is built on the long term. If you join our program, it's automatically at least 6 months, because
Definitely.
less than that doesn't make any sense. Yes, you can lose 10 pounds in 10 days. Then you go on your cruise and gain 20 pounds back. Now, what was that for? A waste of time. We don't want to waste your time. We want to create time in your day. And how do you create time and money in your day? For one, reducing food waste, cooking yourself, eating out less often. We can't now anyway, we have to order out, and use Erin's meal plans. She does awesome individualized meal plans for a very reasonable fee. She has ready-made, and on your website you even have a free 7-day keto plan. And of course you can also talk to myself. I'll be happy to talk to you if you have any medical conditions that may impede your weight loss, and need to talk first before you decide. That's perfectly fine. And if you need recipes, hey, our program is chock full with that. And Erin has even more. And she loves to cook and do meal plans. I love to help people get actually the tools they need to get better. And Erin gives them the details,
Yeah.
because, hey, we all have to eat.
And if the idea of a meal plan doesn't sound appealing to you, because some people just feel like they can't follow a meal plan, that's completely okay. With the BMST program, a lot of the meal plans are just more like guidelines, and it does teach you how to eat healthy. There's so many different food swaps that you can use for a lot of the meal plans, and you can always feel free to talk to one of me and Christine to help with accommodate food selections that you have in your cupboard, or if you have a dietary restriction as part of your plan.
Right, and that is important to say, and I can't repeat it often enough. If you take medications, have any serious illness, please talk to your doctor before changing your lifestyle or diet in any way.
Yeah.
But what did we decided for this iteration for the body, mind, and spirit transformation, not just have the course for a steep discount, but the program for a steep discount of 75% to help those who are scooped in home and maybe have a loss of income due to the COVID-19 crisis. And without going in the politics of it, it is certainly an economic downturn that we are experiencing. So we want to be part of that. And besides the free content that we always provide, our specialty programs are very much discounted. And as a COVID-19 bonus, Erin will add the fitness from home. I'm so excited to start that and see what we can do. Lose
Definitely.
weight. Lift weights to lose weight. Now let's see. I wanted to do a last share. Let me see if I share the right portion of the screen. It is that we, okay. If you are interested in learning more about our program, I encourage you to go to our website, drchristine.com/lose-weight, and there's all the details. You can sign up for it. Or of course, you can always go, let me do a different share. You can go to my website or Erin's website. Oh, here's Erin's website, and you can see, let me see, now I want the full screen, technique, technology. This is Erin's website. Now, doesn't it look nice? You get a free weight loss coaching session. You get on my website, which is this one here, a free book. And if that's not enough, you can click on I need and say whatever you need. Here you learn more about the weight loss program. Here you can book a free consultation with me. And when you want to know more, this is the page that we talked about, the lose-weight. Look, there's 75% off in the spring. And a COVID-19 bonus that I haven't even added to all the goodies you get. And yes, people lose a ton of weight in the program. Oh my God, that looks good. I want to start cooking. So please check it out. We are happy to explain details, to talk to you. That's all for free. And explain if you have any trouble, technology, ordering it, let us know and we'll be happy to help you out. We are on Facebook, we are on YouTube, we are on telephone or whatever you want to use. LinkedIn, of course. I'll share that all. And go on our website, contact us, and we'll be happy to help you out. I think we did enough for today. We don't want to waste your time, but go, if you can, go shopping or order your food. Most grocery stores deliver now. And order the good food. Get a meal plan, go on Erin's website, start to try keto recipes, great recipes, or try something. Try to cook something yourself today. And we'll talk the next. Have a great day.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.